Let us now move on to understand the OAuth 2 flows. As mentioned before, the way in which the OAuth flows are implemented can vary. This variance comes from how the first step in the flow is implemented, that is, getting the authorization from the user. That is this page that we had seen in our example. This process is called as authorization grant. It essentially means that you are granting the authorization to the OAuth client to access your data on the Facebook server. Now, depending on how this authorization grant is performed, there can be different flows of OAuth 2. Different flows of OAuth will require you to provide different parameters when performing the authorization. I'll quickly move to Postman and show you how this varies. So here I am in Postman and I have selected OAuth 2 from the authorization section. And when I select Get New Access Token, there are different types of grant types that we can select. When I change it, the parameters required have changed. We'll see this in detail in the next tutorial, but you get the idea. Depending on the grant type, the parameters required to send to the authorization server will change. We will be trying out authorization code type flow, so I won't touch other flows in this tutorial. Before that, let's understand a few more concepts before we get on to the flows. The first is authorization code. This is the code that authorization server provides the client after the user has logged in and authorized the client to use its data on the provider. It is a temporary code. Using this authorization code, the client will now request the authorization server to give it an access token. And as we saw, the access token will then be used to access the data on actual server. Then comes the auth URI. This is the URL of the authorization server. The OAuth client needs to know this OAuth URI so that it can redirect the user to the authorization service, which will give the authorization grant to the client. Now that we have seen all the concepts and the theory behind all of this, let us move on to actually see the flows and try and understand what is happening in OAuth 2. We found this excellent GIF on dev.to which explains the OAuth flows in a very nice way. So we are just using those GIFs to explain it. The resource owner is you. The client is the OAuth client, which in our example was Airbnb. The user agent is nothing but the browser using which the user is trying to access the client. Then, as mentioned, we have an authorization server, which will be the Facebook authorization server when we choose to log in using Facebook, and a resource server, which is Facebook. Now, when you go on Airbnb, that is the client, and say log in using Facebook, the client sends you to the authorization service URL. You get the login page to log in into the authorization server, that is the Facebook in our example, and these details are sent to authorization server along with the client ID and client secret of the Airbnb. It also contains the redirect URI. The authorization server then authenticates the user and asks the user for its consent to share the data with client. Once the user agrees to share the data, this response is sent back to the authorization server. The authorization server will now send the user back to the redirect URI provided by the client. Along with it also sends a temporary authorization code that we saw earlier. Now this temporary code will be exchanged to get an access token using which the client, that is Airbnb, will be able to access the resources on Facebook on behalf of the user. So the client, that is Airbnb, takes this auth code and sends it to the authorization server. The client also sends client ID and client secret along with this request. The authorization server validates that it is a valid authorization code and also checks what permissions has the user given to that particular client. After all these checks, the authorization server provides the client with access token along with the refresh token. And finally, you are able to use Airbnb or the client. Now, client can use this access token it has to access the OAuth server, that is Facebook. Say Airbnb wants to suggest you places based on your interests you have. It requests Facebook to get that data about you using the access token. Facebook then responds back with the data requested by the client, and Airbnb then shows you the places to visit based on that data. Thus, in a way, you authorized Airbnb to use certain data, and using that data, Airbnb provides you with different functionalities. Now that we have seen the OAuth flows, let us look at the applications of OAuth 2.0. As you must have already guessed, there are basically two major applications of OAuth 2.0. First is just as a login mechanism. So say you have built a website and you decide to provide the feature for the users to log in into your server to access it. You can either build your entire login mechanism by yourself, or you can use an OAuth provider which will enable your users to log in using those services. This saves a lot of effort for you, and it may be beneficial as users don't have to remember a lot of credentials and they can use some common services like Google, Facebook to log in into your application. Another use of OAuth 2 is to access the data on the provider server. Like in our example, Airbnb could provide you a better service by using your interests from Facebook. I hope that you have understood OAuth 2.0 at least on a high level. In the next tutorial, we'll try out OAuth 2.0 in Postman.